Alright, so this is a video for just patron and members, so I always wanted to have a little bit of a sort of discussion with you guys, I guess. So during the live stream that I did today, I did a tier list of the progressive YouTubers, which I've already done in a video actually, but I had put David Pacman at S and I had Secular Talk at A when I previously had Secular Talk at S as well as David Pacman at S. And so, just what I kind of wanted to talk about, because I think some people do have this sentiment. I don't know if a lot of people do, although I've certainly seen some people who have this feeling. But, I just feel like Secular Talk, Kyle Kulinski's show, is losing some of its thunder. I feel like it's losing some of its fire. I feel like it's losing some of its energy. And I think it's because it's gotten a bit tired, I would say. Now, as you guys know, like the Majority Report, for example, okay, they have like four people on set. The combination of Sam Cedar and Michael Brooks is really good, and then you throw in people like Jamie and Matt Leck and everyone, and it's really lively, and there's multiple voices there, of course. Now, the David Pacman show used to have Pat on it, which is really cool. I don't know why they took him off the regular show. It sucks. We definitely miss Pat, that's for sure. But uh, also, David, when it comes to David, okay, and we'll get to this in a second, but, Jimmy Dore has other people now. To be fair, I don't watch Jimmy Dore and I don't like his show. I used to like his show. But, he has multiple people on his show, so it's, like, interesting. So, as you can tell, like, TYT has a lot of people, Kyle's show is honestly, like, the only major one outside of the Rash Nash and Humanist Report who are just solo dolo, who are just solo dolo. And I just feel like it's getting a bit stale personally. Now, what I'm not saying is that Kyle's show is bad. I still think it's great. But I just don't think it's S tier. I would say it's A tier, and I see that that's controversial, of course. But I've been watching Kyle's show since about 2014, so it's been about 5 years. Okay, it's been about 5 years since I started watching his show. That's a long time. 5 years is a long time, and he's really been kind of doing the same stuff for 5 years now. If there was more of a combination of a couple things, okay, the Majority Report, for example, I think is a perfect example of this, as well as David Pacman. The Majority Report has like four people on set, which makes it really interesting and never really gets boring. When Sam kind of talks by himself, it's pretty boring, but when other people are chiming in, it's very interesting. There's also debates that go on in terms of like with callers and stuff like that, which makes it interesting. So, a couple of things Kyle could do is, either have just sort of a co-host, which I doubt he's going to do. He could also have more just in studio guests. Folks, he's had a table that can fit like five people, and he's never had a single. Like, even if he just did it once and it was like, all right, I'm done, even that I would understand a lot more. But he's been in that new studio for like 2 years. I think it's 2 years. He's had zero people in there. Not even one. Like, just not even one, bruh. Literally, not even a single human being in studio. Like, imagine how dope it would be just to have one person in studio. But he could have more guests in studio. He could switch up the format too, because another thing that makes him sort of in the same him, Rash Nash, and Human Sport really in that sort of area, the only major ones to do this. He doesn't take live calls, or he doesn't really interact with his audience at all. Like, he doesn't really talk with his audience at all. He doesn't really interact with them at all. No live calls, and he could start doing live calls. He could switch up the format a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You could, I don't know, do live calls would probably be the way to do so, or I guess voicemail answers like David Pacman does. And so, also, I think that while it's really cool that Kyle sticks strictly to the news, and I would say it's pretty remarkable how many views his videos get for being like strictly news videos, it'd be cool if you switched it up every once in a while. Like, I feel like the Majority Report keeps a lot of its fire going because they do stuff like that. Like, they do funny videos on Dave Rubin and Jordan Peterson. Like, I feel, for me, like, that really like gives the Majority Report a lot of energy. And so I figure if Kyle were to sort of increase his videos, which, to be fair to Kyle, he does do some videos on people like Ben Shapiro, but he just have to increase the frequency, is what I feel like. But I don't know. I'm curious to know your thoughts on this. I personally feel like he's still got a great show, obviously, but when you for like 5 years, and he's been doing the show even longer than that, kind of just do the same thing, And it's not like something where it's just sort of not foolproof, but like it's sort of boring proof. I don't know what the phrase I'm trying to use here is, but the point is like it's if you have four people on the show or like a couple co-hosts or something, or you have live calls and debates and stuff like that, or you take audience questions, you know what I'm saying, like all those things, then it's like you could do the same thing for 5 years because it's never going to get boring. But he doesn't do those things. So anyways, with that said, I'll be reading your comments. Obviously, I always read you guys' comments. So let me know your thoughts on this. Let me know your thoughts on this down below. I'm very, very curious.